Shalom Aleichem, Mishnah Yomi continues. We are holding in chapter 2 of Yoma, Mishnah Dalet, Hapayis Hashlishi, the third lottery in the temple for the right to do sacrificial services. Chodoshim Liketoret Bav Kisu. Those who are new to Ketoret should come and cast a lot to do the Ketoret, the incense offering. Now, the reason this lottery was open only to newcomers was we wanted to give every single Kohen a chance to do the Ketoret offering. So if they'd already done Ketoret once, then we wouldn't want them to do it again. We'd want people who've never done it to come and get the chance to bring the Ketoret because it was incredible segula for Parnasah. Varavi, the fourth lottery, Chadoshim Im Yishonim, to announce people who are new to this avoda and people who've done it before, people who have already had the chance. Mi Ma'alei Evorim Min Kevesh L'Mizbeach. The Cohanim, 6 more Cohanim, would come and bring the limbs from the ramp onto the Mizbeach. And as we discussed yesterday, there were 6 Cohanim needed to schlep the limbs of the Korban Ola, the daily elevation offering, from the floor level of the temple up to the ramp, and then they would go into Lishkat Gazit and daven and recite Shema, and then come back, and apparently they'd pick 6 more Kohanim to schlep it from the ramp up to the top of the Mizbeach. Now, Mishnah Hay is going to go into how many Kohanim exactly do we need to bring everything up for the daily Tamid elevation offering service. Tamid Karev Betisha. The Tamid can be brought up with 9 Kohanim, Be'asara, sometimes with 10, Be'achadasar, sometimes 11, Bishnemisar, and sometimes with 12, as the Mishnah will explain. Lo pachot v'lo yoter, never less than 9, never more than 12. Ketzad, how does this work? What are all the times we need different numbers? Atzmo Betisha, the Tamid itself needs 9 Kohanim. Now, as we mentioned yesterday, you really need 6 Kohanim to schlep up all of the various parts of the animal that was butchered into sections, and then you need 1 more to carry up the Chavitin, which was the mincha of the Kohen Gadol, and 1 for the mincha that accompanied the Tamid, and 1 for the yayin, for the nisachim, the wine that was poured out as a libation along with the Tamid. So you need 9 for a regular, everyday, weekday Tamid offering. B'chag, if it's chag, now chag means holiday, but it specifically refers to Sukkot. Biad echad slochit shel mayim. You need a 10th Kohen that carries in his hand a pitcher, a flask of water for the famous water libation that was done only on Sukkot. Charekan asar. So now you have 10 for Sukkot. Bein arbaim, and for the afternoon, be'chadasar, you need 11. Hu atzma betisha, the regular 9 that you need all the time for Tamid, ushnaim, and 2 more Kohanim, biadam shnei gezeri eitzim, that are holding 2 additional blocks of wood to add to the pyre, add to the fire arrangement on the top of the Mizbeach. Now, actually, in the morning, we saw when they did Trumat Hadeshin, when they removed a scoop. Remember, at the beginning of this chapter, we talked about Trumat Hadeshin. They removed a scoop of ashes. At that time, they would arrange 2 blocks on top of the Mizbeach for the pyre. And now in the afternoon, when they brought up the pieces, it's early afternoon, really, they brought up the pieces of the Tamid Shabbat Arbaim, they would add 2 more. Mishnah goes on, Shabbat, Be'achadasar, and Shabbat, you need 11 Kohanim, Hu Atzma Batisha, the regular crew of 9, Ushnaim, and 2 more, Be'adam Shnei Vaziche Levona, who are carrying the ladles of Levona, of frankincense, Shel Lechem Apanim, that were with the Lechem Apanim, the showbread, on the shulchan, on the table inside the temple building. Now, on this shulchan was the lechem apanim, the bread, the showbread, and it had 2 ladles. It was in 2 stacks, and each stack had 1 ladle of levona, of frankincense with it. And when they would switch out the bread on Shabbat, and then they would eat the old bread, even though it really, mamish, wasn't old. One of the miracles in the temple was it stayed fresh and warm and delicious all week. So it was fresh, hot bread for Shabbos, for the Kohanim. They'd put on new bread, and when they switched it out, they'd put on new frankincense, and the old frankincense would be carried up on the Mizbeach and burnt on the large Mizbeach outside in the courtyard. And finally, on a Shabbat that was during the festival of Sukkot, Biad Echad Slohit Shel Mayim. You would have the 11 for Shabbat, plus 1 more carrying the flask of water for the water libation that was in addition to the wine libation on Chag, on Sukkot itself. Chazak Aruch and Zay Gesund.